It's been nearly 2 years since police say Ross Harris intentionally left his son Cooper in a hot car in Cobb County. The 22-month-old died in June of 2014. His father insists it was an accident. Channel 2's Cobb County Bureau Chief Ross Cavett is live at the Cobb County Courthouse. And Ross, today, the judge will meet with jurors who say they don't want to serve because of hardships.
And because of all the various motions and issues surrounding this case, it has been one of the most watched criminal cases in Cobb County history. And as you mentioned, will officially start about 1 o'clock this afternoon. The courtroom behind me is full of jurors. The first item on Judge Mary Staley's docket in this case is to hear from jurors who've been asked to be excused from jury duty. We hear excuses typically like they have a pre-planned vacation scheduled, they've already paid for that, or they run their own business and simply can't be away. Those jurors do not necessarily know, though, that they could be picked for the Justin Ross Harris case that could keep them tied up for 6 weeks at a minimum as testimony goes on in this particular trial. Harris is accused of killing his young son Cooper by leaving him in a hot SUV on a summer day back in 2014. The amount of jurors the county has called to be in this pool, experts say, show that they are really trying hard to find an impartial jury here in Cobb.
And in this case, the judge has sent out more than double of the last 2 high-profile cases that we've had that have been going on for years, the Hemi Newman case and the Andrew Snyderman case. Each of those had about 250 summons that went out. This one had 550 that went out.
And I got some clarification on that earlier this morning. They have some other trials going on in the courtroom. They're really looking for a pool of 300 jurors to find 14 or so that could be impartial in this case. We'll probably won't know until later this week whether or not that's even a possibility, because certainly most people in this county, if not the entire country, have heard of the Ross Harris case. We also know the defense has asked the judge to let them individually question these jurors. That's an issue she'll have to deal with before they get into jury selection. If she grants that wish, jury selection will stretch on for a long, long time. We'll have an update on this story at Channel 2 Action News at 4 and beyond. In the meantime, live outside the courthouse, Ross Cavett, Channel 2 Action News.
Yeah, it's a case that's even gotten international attention, so it's going to be interesting to watch this jury process. Thank you, Ross. When the trial begins, Harris's ex-wife could be called to testify. We learned last week that Leanna Harris is now divorced from the defendant, and that means she could be called to testify against her ex-husband. The district attorney confirmed that she is on the prosecution's witness list. We have continuing coverage of the Ross Harris trial at WSB-TV.com. We do have a complete history and timeline of the case. We also break down the evidence about Harris's marriage and finances. We'll have the latest from the courtroom with a live report beginning on Channel 2 Action News at 4.